So it's ironic that in pushing children's faces into alarm, that we often get children who are desperate to control and to manage. And to relax them is to actually take over, to have a much stronger presentation. In fact, this is one of the biggest things as towards the end of my practice, and I started to realize, and this has grown on me more in the recent years after having retired from private practice and following up certain of the cases, that the single most important difference that it would make in an anxious child's life is for the parent, strong alpha presence of being in charge of that the child could lean on. Just an anecdote. I blew it as a father many times, but this one really stands out for me. My fourth son, Shay, you think by the fourth one I'd get it right, but sometimes you blow it there too. And we were in Maui, and I was introducing him to the waves in the ocean, and it was his first introduction, about 3.5 years of age. And so I foolishly had my back to the ocean as I was saying, there's nothing to be afraid of, Daddy's here, everything is under control. And a rogue wave came along and wiped us both out, absolutely, completely out, sand over everything. And I mean, Daddy just tumbled, and what happened is not only did he become frightfully alarmed and afraid of all kinds of things, as you can imagine, but he came incredibly alpha. And
what does that look like?
He had to be in control. He was bossing everybody around. Oh, Daddy, don't do this. Don't do it this way. All of a sudden, food. He has to be in control of this. Just from that one time,
you think?
Just that.
Wow.
And I was thinking that I needed to deal with a particular incident, so I was trying to debrief the incident and so on and around this. And I tried for I think a month. I wasn't getting anywhere. I'm a psychologist. I'm trained in this. I couldn't get anywhere. And then finally, I realized, no, it is deeper than this. I have to present myself in his life as his answer, as his compass point. I have to walk and talk and act as if I, in that kind of alpha presence, so he can lean on me. And as I did this, you could just see the softening of the alarm and the softening of his own alpha instincts, and walked him right out of this without ever actually debriefing it.
What did it look like? I don't know. I'm trying to picture what that looks like, because my image of an alpha is of an alpha dog who's just bossy, who's just pushing everybody around, and that's not the kind of parent.
No, that's not the kind of alpha. The alpha is, the whole purpose of alpha is to provide. And so you have to find the provider in the generous, and it's a place where you're becoming the child's answer for their sense of belonging, their sense of significance, to be able to hold on to them. It's that way, because that is the alpha that you're doing. It's not lording it over them. It's not winning every battle. It's the actual presenting yourself in that way that would inspire the child to lean on you, to depend upon you. You can think of certain adults in your life that present that way, and you just actually are inspired to lean on and depend upon.
You're not afraid of them. You're not diminished by them. You kind of feel they have your back in a way.
Absolutely.
Is that it?
Yeah. When you realize that their greatest needs are for significance, for love, for the invitation to exist in our presence, for contact and closeness to be held onto, for all of this. And so the alpha is to present yourself as the answer to that. And when you actually find that, it is a completely different place in you. There's a huge dignity in it, huge fulfillment, but it also answers the alarm in them, because they can settle down. They can lean on us. It's not a mind thing. It's completely something that happens on a very basic instinctual level.
One of the other things I read from my notes in preparing for this was, you were saying a part of being that alpha is shielding them from the wounding of others.
Yes. Yes, this is one of the things. In the research on resilience is that when a child has a strong emotional connection with a caring adult, assume here mom, dad, and it's a safe connection with a caring adult, the more that you matter to your child, the less it matters what happens on the outside. So the actual attachment creates a shield against all of the alarming things that are happening in the world. And it's the way, if you think of a beautiful life, no, life is beautiful.
That one in the prison,
Holocaust,
or the Holocaust.
Or the Italian, Italian, like you.
Yeah.
Yes. And you think of how the father
That's a good
presented
example.
himself to his boy in the midst of all kinds of danger, and yet the boy was not alarmed. But that was a perfect example of both alpha and a shield. And because the father mattered most, the boy could survive in this and follow the father's cues to his own survival ultimately, in this. But this is the most important thing. When our children become peer oriented, when they orbit around their peers, when their friends matter more to them than us, they can't bear the separation they're facing. This is the real problem with the Facebook is the peer orientation. It's just unbearable. The alarm goes up, the defendant goes up. First of all, they have anxiety problems. Then it goes deeper into agitation base, and finally the adrenaline seekers. But you just see the dysfunction happening in the alarm system. And we are meant to be the answer to that. We are meant to matter most. That is how we can shield them. If we matter most, if a child is rejected by a sibling and we haven't been able to convince the sibling to accept their younger brother or sister, again, the answer to saving that child from that hugely alarming scenario is to be the one that matters most.
How does that teach them to then manage things themselves eventually? Because I think the reason we let them handle their own situations is because we really believe that they need to learn how to do it.
It's not a matter of learning. Maria, it's a matter of development. They need time to develop the ultimate solution here, which is in the integrative process, the prefrontal cortex, in which they can develop the courage to not let fear stand in the way. That's a development. That's not a learning. You cannot teach that. You can make it safe enough for a child that the brain will grow and develop properly so that they can get there. But the brains are designed to be able to do this. It just needs the conditions that are conducive for that development.